Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the True Life Podcast. I hope everybody's having a beautiful day. It's Friday. I hope the sun is shining. I hope the birds are singing. I hope the wind is at your back. Today, we don't just have another guest. We have the closing of an equation that has been open since the first cell learned to live inside another. Lila Lang is not a theorist. She is the translator of a law older than language. The woman who at 8 years old heard the entire field speak its complete structure in one breath and has spent every day since returning that breath to a world that forgot how to listen. She did not add another philosophy. She delivered the fourth law, the geometric constraint that decides whether a cell, a mind, or a civilization endures or collapses into thermodynamic suicide. Cancer, war, consciousness, collapse. She has mapped them all to the same forgettable line of code. Tonight, for the first time in public, ladies and gentlemen, the architect of the Lila Code steps into the light, not to convince us, but to remind us what we already knew before we learned to be afraid. Scientists, skeptics, seekers, drop every shield you've ever carried. This is Lila Lang. Lila, thank you so much for being here today. How are you?
I'm doing great, George. Thank you so much. That's the introduction I could never even dream about. That's so beautiful. And I don't mean it for me. I mean it for the code, for the science that is needed here.
Agreed. Lila, when I love to read and I love to learn. And when I started looking through some of that which you were posting, I was really taken aback. I'm like, this is really interesting. And then when I went to the lilacode.com and I started reading through those papers, it made so much sense to me. Not because I'm a scientist or not because I have a rigorous background in academics, but because it helped me thoroughly understand the way I could remember. And I mean that word, like remember. It's so amazing. And before we start getting into the depth on that, I just wanted to hand it over to you a little bit to maybe you can speak to the idea of who you were and how this code came to you, and just talk a little bit about yourself for a moment.
Okay, so this is how it came to me. When I was 8 years old, my grandfather, who was my very close friend, he was my closest friend actually, he passed. And my parents were hiding it from me for 2 weeks. And once they told me, of course, for me, it was like the first experience of that trauma of separation, of death. And I don't remember the evening, how I was doing with that, because I think I was even not able to cry. I was, kind of like in the middle of nowhere. Like when suddenly you were holding something and you don't have things to hold to anymore. So, and I went to bed that night and I had a dream. And it was one of those dreams, like that you see an idea in Inception movie that is like in a dream, it's half a year. It's not one night, it's not 8 hours, but it literally, it was like life there in a dream. So it was long for me. So, and my grandfather came to me there in my dream, and I knew from the beginning that he passed. So it was not something like remembering. So I knew from the beginning that this already happened. And he came to me and he just said, okay, you shall not worry about anything. You are not alone. I will show you how it works. And then he showed me. It was not any explanation. I was 8 years old. Like, what kind of explanation?
Right.
Yeah, that's not possible. It was more, let's say, magical thing. Like flying. Like the planet is like a little thing that you just imagine, and you can be all around, and you can be on at the same time. Like very, very magical. Like like almost a cartoon. So, but the thing is that it made perfect sense, not like in minds, but it made perfect sense that it kind of like it gave me freedom. So I knew for sure, like after that dream, when I woke up, that I mean, I'm not separate. He's with me, and I was just able to feel that. So it was not in mind. And of course, I tried to share it because I was like fascinated with that. So I was so excited, you know, like a kid who sees their fireworks for the first time with like those eyes, like. So I, of course, I tried to share it, you know, just to share the amazement, the happiness. But almost every single person with who I tried to share it, of course, in the language of an 8 years old, again. Like almost every single person said, including my parents, that, you know, yeah, that sound nice, that sound beautiful, but you know what? It will be time to grow up. So you better go and study the real things and 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 forget about it. So I was upset. I would say upset. So then, like sometimes later, when I tried to share it, like being a little bit older, maybe like around my 12 or 13. So I tried to share it again already, you know, like in a different language, like different visuals. But the thing that I heard was even worse. So it was something like, okay, if the kid is saying that, that's fine. But if you're becoming a teenager and you're saying that, you better keep silent. So, or you will face the doctors that will treat that.
Yeah.
So the thing is that, you know, how to say it right? I was not I was not humiliated by that. I was not offended. But I was extremely scared that somebody can come and treat that. That was
Yeah.
really the scary part, because you know, like that picture, that feeling, that was kind of like everything, like comparing to reality, to school in Russia, to people around, to like communication, like that thing that I was carrying, like it was so beautiful that, I mean, for me it was a nightmare just to imagine that somebody can treat that with meds and it will stop and I will lose that feeling. So I became silent for I would say like about 20 years after that. So yeah, I was almost not sharing with anyone. Um, so the same time, of course, I believed them.
Of course.
Of course. So I believed them, and I was interested to find out, okay, if that is not reality, so then what is? And so I shall go and find out. And then through like almost like through my entire lifetime. So what I've been doing, I was visiting all different domains, including psychology, religion, astrophysics, physics, biology, neuroscience. Um, I mean, like almost everything that was out there. So, like every domain, just to find out the truth. Okay, if that picture is not correct, so then what is? So, and every domain. So I will be honest with you. I mean, like it's. I'm not saying that like every domain, like I started to the bottom. Absolutely no. So every domain I started exactly to the level when I was able to realize that that domain is actually proving what I've seen there. So like for some domains, it was 2 months. For some domains, it was 5 years. So like it was all different because I was just doing it for myself. I was not doing any scientific research. Like absolutely no. I was kind of like hiding it. I didn't want to be treated. um, so and then like finally I came to the point that I said enough is enough because like every domain that I visited, it just proved the entire picture. So and I'm like, what? Like seriously? Like and because I know for myself how hard it is to um, like for me it's been a nightmare to like to think that I don't have answers, that I don't actually understand what the heck is going on here. so um and when I said enough, I mean honestly the only thing that I want to do now, I want to share it. And I just want to be clear, I didn't invent anything. I'm just sharing my vision. That's it. That's all I'm doing.
It when I think about the first part of that story, in that quick story right there, you talk about how the idea of someone coming to medicate you, the idea of someone saying like the whole world looking at you like, hey, you got to grow up. Hey, you can't be thinking about this kind of stuff. Join the real world. Like it seems to me that's on some level what happens to everybody. Like they all of a sudden they have this dream, they have this vision, they have this idea of who they are and what this world really is. And then all of a sudden the world comes in and is like, hey, knock it off. Quit acting like that. Quit having these ideas about you might know something. Get in line, go to school, take this class and learn from these people over here. And I can't help but think how much what your story is everybody's story. It's not that they had the same vision as you, not that they had the same ideas as you, but all of a sudden the world kind of sets in and just conquers you a little bit and tells you to quit dreaming, tells you to quit preaching your beauty, tells you to quit preaching your words out there. It seems like something that happens to all of us. Do you think that's fair to say?
I think that's absolutely fair to say because this is exactly how I am building my field proofs. So my point is that uh, I don't want to share knowledge because this is not possible. Uh, like any knowledge that we are sharing, it doesn't matter like if you read in a book or if you attend in school. So you hear that with a linear language, the thing we just talked about. Yeah. So uh, and like language, again, it is linear. It's like from A follows B, from B follows C, from so it's linear. But reality is not linear. It has depth. So which means that it is just not possible to describe reality in that linear language. Again, it's just incorrect too. It's um, like we describing the shadow, we're not describing the reality. And the thing is that our mind, by mind I mean the brain, so it processes um, the information in a way that it can be trained. If on everyday basis from entire world around you, including school, including family, like including everyone, like you hear description of shadow, like once you kind of like, if I can say it that way, you become hypnotized with that, you start believing that, you start following that, you think that okay, it is shadow, it is just a shadow, nothing else exists, and you're just trying to fit in because like all of us would like, we want to feel connected, we want to feel together. So nobody wants to be a black sheep. Honestly. You want to fit in, and this is how like we become hypnotized. So my point is, what I'm doing with my field proofs, uh, I'm not trying to share knowledge, I'm trying to make you remember. because I know that every one of us, like as you said, like every one of us already had that picture, already had that feeling. And at some points, your mind, your perception made a decision to switch that point of view to a shadow. So I'm trying to make you remember. You know, like what's actually like the interesting thing, the conversation that just happened like a couple days ago. I just realized that. So uh, this is how you can like test yourself with how deep the block is. The block of looking at shadow, not on the reality. So the easiest thing to recognize it. So remember from which age you remember yourself. And I don't speak about like super bright moments, something that you can't forget, right? I'm speaking about like you can like actually remember yourself. So like for some people it will be from 5 years old, right? From some people it will be from 12 years old. So the higher number you're giving, the deeper is the block you have, like the narrower is your vision. Because like this, so like because this is actually like there everything that you don't remember. So let's say from 0 to 5, right? So that was the time when you were able not to see the truth but to live the truth. Does it make sense?
It does. It for me it brings up some of the earliest tragedies I had in my life. And when I think about it from the context of what you're saying, it like, oh, that was you in the real world over here. Like that was seared into you right there. That was you remembering right there.
Right. That's exactly my point. So I'm just trying to make you remember. Because you will remember like our perception, like anyway it like we don't see reality the same.
Right.
So there are no two people on this planet that see reality the same way. And it's like when we try to describe things, we're still describing just the top of the iceberg. So and your perception is unique as any other person, which means that I don't want you to give my perception of reality. I want to like turn the switch on so that your perception is back.
I felt it, Lila. I felt it when I read the idea of the observer and the field. And I want to talk about that, but I was hopeful before we talk about that, you could maybe define what the observer is and what the field is.
Okay, so I'm trying to find the best picture because I don't. So the thing is that I don't want to go
Right.
in like scientific definitions,
Okay.
because like if you want scientific definitions, I have it published out there.
Yes.
Yes, but like my point is like to give the feeling of it, not to share scientific definitions. So um, so let's say the field is if you will switch from the narrow perception, you will make it wide angle. So the picture that you will see, this is the field. So which means that like what is included in your perception, it's not matter. It's not only matter. I mean like the physical objects, right? Like in your perception included your feelings, your communications, your connections, like everything, like your state of mind, everything. So like if you will have a wider picture, like that widest picture will be the field. So observer, it is you who is observing that reality with a narrow perception. Sometimes with narrow, sometimes with wide. Yes. So, and which means that, maybe that will be easier. So, like if we talk about like what consciousness is the bridge between observer and the field. So imagine that like the field is like super wide, right? And you observer, you are one. So you can have bridge here, bridge there, bridge here, right? Or you can have like super wide bridge. So consciousness, this is not your property. Does it make sense? So it's not the part of you. This is exactly why biologists, they cannot find they can define consciousness in a brain, because it does not exist there. It's the bridge.
To me, it feels like, when I was reading some of the papers, it feels as if we are the receiver. Like our brain is the receiver,
Right.
and you can tune in to whatever frequency you want. Like all the frequencies are right there. And just when I think about the brain as the receiver, and an example in my life is, if I choose to see my life through the narrow lens of labels that were given to me, I live this certain way. And it's very easy to get into that pattern of the labels of George Monty, the truck driver, George Monty, the father, George Monty, this. But I have had some incredible experiences with the field or with reality, whatever people want, however they want to define it, where I was able to envision my life, like live whole lifetimes. Like I've had some really incredible psychedelic experiences where I got to live a whole nother life. And I could not explain that. And when I tell people that, sometimes people are like, you're just high on that. You're just crazy, George. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. I experienced what it was like to be married to someone else, to have other kids, to be on a different time frame. And when you say that out loud, people are like, you can't do that. Like, that's impossible. But I'm here to tell everybody, like, that is completely possible. And not only to feel it, but to experience it. And that when I read your papers for the first time, I'm like, this is it. Like, this is exactly what that experience was to me, at least the way I remembered it right there. Does that sound like a good explanation of from my perspective of how the observer could be working in the field and tuning into different frequencies?
It is absolutely perfect explanation. So, like the only thing that I would love to, like to clarify. So imagine, so you said that it's like a lot of different signals, right?
Yes.
And tune in to exact signal, right? So the thing is that it is actually like, it is infinite signals there. Like literally infinite. But let's say that only one of those signals is the reality. By reality, I mean not like different timeline, but I mean something that goes in a perfect phase coherence with the field. And this is exactly, so once you tune into that signal, the only one, what you experience, like if we take their term from physics, you experience resonance. If we take the term from the human language, we experience love. Like, when you just feel yourself at the correct place, the correct time, with the correct person, and you're just flying, and everything perfect, whatever is happening around you, with you, on a planet, you just look around, you look at that, and you're thinking, oh my God, this is exactly how it's supposed to be. I'm so happy it is this exact way. So that signal, it is only one signal. So we call it love. We call it perfect resonance. So this is the signal. Okay, so I would say like the perfect explanation would be, so imagine that that signal I'm talking about, it is the only clear signal. Everything else, like everything, the infinite possibilities, everything else, it is that perfect signal and some distortion on top. So you don't hear the perfect signal, but you kind of like hear some noise, which make your skin itchy.
Yes.
Yes, which make you, you know, like, oh, I should listen twice. Like, what is it happening? Seriously? No, I don't want to deal with that. I will think about it tomorrow. So, like, whatever type of distortion is that or noise, so it is that perfect, the widest signal, and you have noise on top. And that's possibilities of like noise. It can be, you know, like if you mention like the infinite possibilities of QR codes,
Yeah.
infinite
Yeah.
possibilities of noise that you can put on top. And like if this is what you choose as an observer to perceive, like the clear signal with the noise on top, this is what your reality become. So, you know, like their easiest example would be, so imagine like two people entering the room, and it's the same room with the same temperature, with the same things going inside of that room, but like one person will enter the room, you know, like feeling happy. Let's say that person is in love, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, he's actually doesn't care like about the room. He's just thinking, oh, I have that date in the evening, and this is, oh my God, this is so white walls. So I already see the pictures on those walls, right? And then it's another human who is, you know, like, I mean, let's say like some stress is going on in life, and that person didn't have like good night's sleep or like whatever. So, and that person has absolutely like different state of mind. So they like the reality, the field will be the same for both of them. It's the same room. But one person will be happy and flying, another person will be like upset and stressed, whatever. So which means that they actually experiencing two different realities. And why they experiencing two different realities? Because of the way you perceive. This is the phase lock that is happening between the observer and the field. And that phase lock is producing infinite possibilities of realities.
It makes so much sense. Like I think it also dovetails with the idea of that feeling you get when you're around somebody. Like when those two people walk into the room and you're like, this person's in love over here. Like, look at the smile they have on their face. Like you can feel it when people are in a certain type of mood and in a different mood too. Like if people are, maybe they just lost somebody, like you can feel that reality from them. How does that fit into like the phase lock? If I come in and I see Lila over here, and I'm like, look at Lila, she's so awesome. She has this incredible thing. I'm super stoked on it. And like we're sharing this thing between us. Like I can almost, I might not be able to see your reality, but I can sense it. I can feel it and even be attracted to it on some level or repulsed by it on some level. How does that fit into the phase lock aspect of it?
That fits perfectly because this is already, so if you imagine like, the simplest example would be like from biology, you know, just imagine like a human body, right?
Okay.
And it's a lot of different cells there. And every cell is performing its role in a body, right? So the heart is pumping blood, you know, like the bones are holding you, like whatever. But the thing is that they are all connected, which means that like if something goes wrong with the heart, the bones will feel that. Why the bones will feel that? Not because heart affecting the bones, but because the heart is affecting the entire organism. And bones are the part of that organism. So this is why bones will feel what is going on with the heart, right? So let's say heart will like start pumping blood slower. It will affect entire body, right? It will affect their blood, it will affect the vessels, and so like bones will feel worse. Again, not because like straight from the heart, but because bones are a part of that organism. So this is the same thing. So like um, imagine like the easiest picture, like imagine that the planet, and please don't take my words literally because that's not the planets, that's the field. So it's like it's entire thing. It's all planets all together. but the picture with the planet is just easier um, to have. So imagine that the planet itself is that one living body, and you are a cell of it. You are one cell, which means that if there somebody on a planet or a group of people doing something, it will affect you because you are a cell, you are a part of that organism. It will affect you like absolutely straight. So, and this is exactly like if I can put it here, because like this is
It's perfect.
I guess I would say this is one of the like main thing why I'm doing this. Uh, I think that our entire education system supposed to be switched from like learning things. I mean, you know, like memorizing things, like performing things. Like our education system supposed to be switched to teach uh, at least the current generation. I hope like the future generations won't forget it, like in the first place. But for the current generation, to make that switch, we're supposed to teach our kids how to perceive, how to feel things with your body, how to read them. So the example that you gave with psychedelics, so actually like what psychedelics are doing, uh, uh, they taking your face lock to the higher level of consciousness, higher level of perception. This is why you can see wider. This is why you can see deeper. So this is what psychedelics are doing. So like if we would have the clear, very clear, like engineered protocols of how to keep that face lock after psychedelic experience. So you don't experience that while you're tripping out, but you stay with it. Like you carry it without any psychedelics later, just with the clear perception you carry it, right? So this is exactly what psychedelic experience is doing. So it makes you feel, it makes you perceive their more clear signal. So I think this is like what education is supposed to do. It's supposed to teach at least our kids how to perceive reality, because with that, at some points, I hope for that. I really hope to see that, like maybe the beginning of that, like during my lifetime. I hope to see that, like perceiving reality. That we are all as a planet. We are one entire coherent organism. It will not be a question of knowledge that you got in university, but it will be a question of people able to do that, to feel each other, to feel other people. Because honestly, what I think that like once you feel that, like everything else just happens automatically. You don't need um, to like to teach the perfect diplomats to stop the war. No, gun itself, gun itself, because like if every single human will be able with their body to perceive like what is happening with the entire organism, like no single human will be able to harm anyone to do something against the field, because you will know for sure it is not karma, it is not something like esoterics like that you're supposed to believe in, but you know for sure that if you will harm the neighbor at the exactly the same moments, you actually harming yourself. If you are lying to your partner, like why are you doing that? Like that's only one reason, because you don't trust him. So who you don't trust? You don't trust yourself. So like again, everything else will just happen automatically.
It's so brilliant. And there's so many, all the brain scans. If you look at, I'll bring it back to just psychedelics for a moment, because they have fundamentally changed my life in ways that you described about being able to make new connections, and a lot of the science shows that with the shutdown of the default mode network, new neural pathways, information being processed in different parts of the brain. And it makes perfect sense that in a altered state of awareness, you're able to see the world differently. And then, like you said, to carry that on further in life, to keep that signal clean, to keep that signal coming in so that you can live that life. But I think it's happening with the kids. I think it's happening with education, where people are beginning to feel that. And I think this is a perfect segue into the idea of cancer in the body, as well as cancer into society, or to cancer in culture. And I'm hopeful that you can maybe flesh that out a little bit for us, because I know I have been touched by cancer, and I know so many people that I love, and it seems like it's happening to younger and younger people. But cancer in the people we love seems to be a mirror to cancer in the world that we love. Maybe you could maybe break that down for us a little bit.
Absolutely. So let's say that like everything, uh, like if you look around, you can notice that we just live in patterns.
Yeah.
And every pattern is repeated on a micro scale and on a macro scale, which means that like if we start recognizing those patterns, like actually any disease or any type of problem or issue or conflict, it can be seen on different scales. So it can be seen from their scale of one body, which is cancer. So, and from that point, so what is cancer? From like the meaning of cancer, right? So the meaning is the cell, like it starts that one cell in a body uh, stop functioning for entire organism and start functioning for itself. So that cell stops participating in life of the entire organism. And then what happens next? Like then their neighbor cells of that one cell become doing the same thing. So, and then like at one point, it becomes a tumor. And once they're already a larger part of their human body refuses to participate in the life of their entire organism, entire body, the body starts suffering because everything wasn't balanced there. Like every cell supposed to be on its perfect place and perform its perfect role that it was designed for. It's like, can you imagine, like in biology, in human body, that bones will try to win a tender to become a heart. This is exactly what is happening in corporate world.
Yes.
This is exactly what is happening with us trying to achieve career. We're trying to win a tender of becoming something because, because this is popular now, because this is what everybody is doing. But every cell is designed for its perfect role. And the thing is that once the cell is on its place, the entire organism, I'm talking about the human body, entire organism is celebrating that cell being on its correct place. It doesn't matter if that's the heart or a bone or an ear or the eye. It is just celebrating that cell because that cell is doing exactly what is needed for their perfect and beautiful function of their entire body. So, and if we transfer that to the macro scale, let's say for the planet, right? For the field, for civilization, for reality, however you call it, for the universe, right? So that's absolutely the same thing. So imagine that like one person, like one human being, or maybe not human being, maybe it's a tree, maybe it's a cat, maybe it's a frog. I mean, like they're a life creature, right? So it is located exactly on its place, and it's supposed to function as it was designed to function, not as something else. So if that cell, for whatever reason, is trying to win the tender to be something else, so this is where we see cancer on a macro scale. So this is the war is cancer. The war itself is cancer. So and I mean it goes like absolutely like if you see the pattern, it's all the same things as we see in biology in the body.
It makes so much sense to me. And going through what I have been through, and I know other people, it can be pretty daunting at times because it seems that the world, it seems that there's so much noise in the world that everyone is trying to be something that they're not. Because of course, this is celebrated. You get tons of money for this. This must be the right thing, right? You should have to be a CEO. You should have to be this perfect athlete. But like, that is not your purpose. But so many of us are so caught up in trying to be the best version of ourselves and living someone else's idea of what's ideal. And it seems like that's coming to us via everything, through music, through all this stuff. How do we find out, like, what is a good way for people to understand what their role is so that they can shine, so they can be brilliant in their own ideas, so that they can perform their role?
So I would say like like if I put it like in a like very simple structure, so I would say there are two steps.
Okay.
So first step, um, I mean it sounds easy, but I mean for me it took years. So
Of course.
yes, but I now have a map that I can share with you, so it will take much less time. I didn't have a map, so there are only two steps. So first step, stop doing that is not bringing you the feeling of love. Because if you're doing something that is hard for you, that you experience burnout, that you worry about, that you're trying to be best version of yourself, you trying to be worthy. I mean, that is never-ending stress. And you will never achieve that for a very simple reason, not because you're weak or something. No, you will never achieve that because this is an illusion. It is nothing to achieve. You are already perfect as you are. So if something is not bringing you that feeling of resonance with the field, feeling of love, feeling of being extremely happy of the thing that you are doing right now. If this is not it, stop doing it now. And I totally understand why it sounds easy and it's not easy, exactly because of the second step. So we have an illusion that if we will stop doing that, like we will lose everything. I mean, let's say, like somebody has a job that is like, he hates that job. It's like everyday office hours, like, and the person hates that job and can't wait to every evening to have a drink to forget about it's total nightmare job, right? So, and of course, like if I will speak to that person, like, I mean, that's absolutely clear that the person will tell me are you insane? Like seriously, if I quit, how I will pay my bills? That make perfect sense. Absolutely perfect sense. So, and this is why it happens, because when you even consider that, like when you start considering that, so what you're thinking that you are here you are the only one in control. If you will drop, nothing will hold you. And that's the core mistake. Because again, if you feel, I don't say believe, don't believe me, but if you feel that you are a part of that entire organism, you are carried by coherence itself, you will not fall. Not because it's some magical spirit or luck or stars are aligned. No, but because you are carried by the organism itself. So imagine a human body, and let's say you broke your finger. Something happened and you broke your finger. So what will happen? Like that finger, like the entire body will carry that finger around while it's healing. The finger will not fall to the abyss, because it is no abyss, because it is the part of the body. It will be carried around while it's healing, if that is needed, right? So yes, I guess at some point, like if you will drop everything, yes, at some point it will be scary at some point, but you can make it a short amount of time and stop worrying, and it will carry you. You will see it. I know it because I've been there. I know it for sure. I've been there. I've been at the places where the field was taking everything from me. Like nothing to hold, like absolutely nothing. And I mean, of course, like I'm a woman, I have hormones. Obviously, yes. I mean, I was absolutely like stressed out. But I didn't fall into any abyss. I actually didn't. I found such a freedom that oh my god, I can't wait to share it with everyone. I just can't wait.
The word liberation comes to mind. because I've felt it too. I know what it's like to work at a place and spend your life. I was a UPS driver for like 25 years. And it wasn't so much as a UPS driver as it was a role that I was playing. And I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore, to the point where like the body was about to give up. Like I was sick all the time. And then I realized when I finally stood up and I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like there was this feeling of simultaneous liberation for leaving and also dread and fear. Like I was the finger. I'm the finger. I'm going to fall off the body. This is horrible. I'm going to leave. But then that happened. It wasn't easy. Like you said, much like the hormonal aspect of the change that comes when you, this fear of loss. Maybe the real gift is realizing that you didn't lose. Like you've become something else. And that faith is a brilliant word. I love that word, faith. But it seems to me like you have to have that faith. You have to have that willingness to change coherence patterns, to be carried by the body. And that for me is a way in which I learned how to step into the role that I should be, or what I'm good at, or to see it on that aspect of it. I want to let me just jump real fast over to these people. We have so many cool people in the chat over here, Lila, that want to chime in, and I want to say thank you to all of them, to Charla and Ghosta and Roberta. Let me bring up some of these comments over here so that we can kind of address them over here. We've got Charla hanging out with us. We've got Elena. Elena says, Lila, you have a brilliant brain. Charla's coming in over here and she's speaking about her process. The world does that. I do believe we all have experienced this. Roberta comes in, and thank you all for being here right now. I really appreciate it. Roberta says, I made it, and greetings from Portugal this evening. Thank you, Roberta, for being here. And then I have my friend Ghosta coming in over here. Ghosta's got some really awesome papers. And if you see someone's name on the screen, go there and check them out. These people are all brilliant people, and I'm grateful that they're all here with us today. So that leads me to another question. Some people are bringing into the chat over here. Desiree says, Lila, I've heard you say ethics is geometry and not morality. What does that mean?
So I define ethics as coherence itself. Okay. This is I mean, here is the thing. Okay. If morality worked, we already would not have wars. Let's start from that. Because morality itself is something that is made up with the brain. And ethics itself, ethics is knowledge. And let me define the difference.
Okay.
So let's say you see the fire and somebody push your finger into that fire of the candle, right? So what your body will do, your body will automatically pull your finger away. Is that happening because you believe that fire hurts? Or you have faith that fire hurts or burns? No, absolutely no. Your body has automatic reaction of pull out the finger because your body knows for sure that it will hurt. So how I define ethics, so the easiest way, like if we go behind the scientific terms, so the easiest way is that imagining like the planet as one living organism. And we are connected to everything, like the cell in the body, which means that this is a totally different thing. It's not morality that is saying, like, don't hurt other person, don't lie to other person. This is morality. But if you will have a knowledge that you are connected to any other human being, you are connected to animals, to trees, you are connected to, you are part of that organism. Not as a single entity, but as a cell being inside of that body, like entire organism. So once you feel that, once you realize that ethics, like ethical behavior, it becomes not morality, something like, like, oh, don't do that, but it becomes a structure, because you know for sure that if you will harm the neighbor, you actually harming the organism, the entire organism, which is actually will affect you. And it's not karma, it's not something you have to believe in. This is geometry, this is simple physics. So that's actually, like that's the beauty, that's the beautiful part of it, that um, I built my field proofs uh, the way that's and of course I did it for a reason. So I built it the way that I base all the proofs on already existing science, which means that for institutions and for academia, it is, I'm sorry, but it's checkmate. I'm sorry to say that, but it is what it is. Because if they will, I mean, they don't have a path, they don't, to say that this is, like religion, imagination, beautiful story, beautiful theory. No, this is not theory. This is the fact. And if institutions and academia will deny that, that itself means that they are denying their own base that they already have. So by denying that, by not accepting that, they they destroy its own base. Just a matter of time.
Yeah. It becomes painfully obvious that like you can't move forward without denying the very foundation on which you build it. Like you can't keep going. Look at it's collapsing right there.
Absolutely, that's exactly my point. Because like if we look if we look on it from their larger scale, so I mean this is again, this is the very easy picture. So like imagine like one human body. If every cell will try to do whatever to win a tender, to become a heart, right? Um, the body will stop functioning. That's it, period. So this is exactly what is happening now.
Yes.
With civilization. Like we are, as their separate observers, like we have tons of fragments, brilliant fragments. I have nothing against those fragments. I mean, all those like new discoveries in science, like, oh my God, you just open LinkedIn. I mean, with AI, everybody doing discovery every day. But the point is that these are all fragments, and no any fragments. I mean, like you finding like new cure for cancer with the speed of light. I believe you. Perfect. I totally believe you. But that won't save civilization, because if all the fragments trying to do their own thing instead of be their one organism and like see how it actually functioning, and everybody all together function for that one organism, like civilization will fall apart. Again, it's just a matter of time. So I mean, it's about the time. I mean, like it's a loop. Like we can fall apart, like civilization already been there, um, and then a new loop will start from the very very beginning, or we can finally overcome it.
It's so true. Like it doesn't take a whole lot of imagination to look around and see the fragmentation that's happening already. And it's easy to get caught in that loop. And I've done it. I still do it to this day where I'm like, this is such a mess. Like, look at this. And you start seeing all this fragmentation everywhere. But you had mentioned in one of the field proofs that all it takes is for one healthy body to reseed a whole orchard. Like one individual can go back and help everybody remember. When you look at where we're at right now, are you optimistic for the future, or have we gotten to the point of too much collapse already?
Oh my God, that's a hard question. That's the hard question because I mean, this is exactly what I'm doing with the Lila Code. So
Yes.
the thing is that so imagine imagine that you like all those fragments. It is part of a bicycle, parts of the bicycle, and it's all like laid on the ground, like bunch of parts, right? And every part itself is beautiful and correct and falsifiable. I hate that word.
That's beautiful.
But the thing is that you don't have a bicycle. you have bunch of parts that is covered with rust already. And you're just covering those rusted parts with new and more parts, more brilliant, more precise, more, like however you could call that, quantum computing. You're just covering that rusted parts with more parts. You don't have a bicycle. So what I'm bringing with the Lila Code, I'm bringing the map of how to put the bicycle together so it starts moving. So you can finally start moving around. You can build a bicycle, or you can take those fragments and build a spaceship and fly to the moon. I mean, like whatever you imagine. So I'm bringing the map. I'm not bringing the fragments. I'm not bringing a theory. I'm not trying to. I'm bringing a backbone where all fragments fit in. So like what I'm doing right now with the field proofs, themselves, I'm honest with you, the field proofs themselves, it is not a map. It is a glossary. It's vocabulary that we need to learn before I publish the map. So the map itself, believe it or not, is as simple as periodic table in chemistry. No, simpler. It's less cells. That's simple. I mean, it is that simple. So just to be able to read it, just to be able to see why it works the way it does, like before read the word, you're supposed to learn the letters. So letters are the field proofs. So these are the letters. So the letters themselves, it's not about fragmented scientific law, whatever it is. The letter itself is the node of your perception that's supposed to be turned on. So you can perceive the entire signal after the ability of perceiving their separate notes. So these are the field proofs. Does it make sense?
It makes perfect sense to me, not only in language, but in the relationships that I'm talking to you today, talking to Charla or Roberta or Ghosta or Robert Sean Davis. Like I would say that almost everybody I see in my life right now, I see the node that they have. And I'm like, that person's so brilliant. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how brilliant they are. And it's because they're doing what they're supposed to do. And I really resonate with that. So when you talk about it being the letters and being a language of which we're going to speak, and that language beginning to show itself in the world, like I see it, Lila, I see it everywhere. And so I'm grateful for it. And that's one of the reasons why I can't wait to not only have this conversation with you, but other ones is that as soon as more people see it, like we start putting the chain on the bike, the gears start going onto the chain. All of a sudden, we got some pedals over here. There's a seat over here. Hey, we got handlebars. Check it out, guys. You know, I see it coming together.
Right. Yeah. So like the question that you asked. So returning to that, like, am I positive about it?
Yes.
So why I said it's a hard question, because as you understand, I know you do. It's the main question of my life, because this is exactly what I've been trying to do from like 8 years old. So, like I'm trying, like I see people around me. It's like, imagine that those people that they're my very close people, and they're sitting inside of the car that is slowly driving to the cliff. And I have a map how to stop the car. And I'm running by the car saying, hey, hello, I have the map. Let me handle you the map, because I can't stop it from outside. I mean, I can. This is your free will. I mean, nobody can affect like anybody's free will. You can just offer, but you can't control, you can't push. I mean, you can't do that. So you can just offer. So I'm running with that map saying like, hey, listen, I know how to stop the car so you will not fall off the cliff. And they look at me from inside of that car saying, it is no cliff. It's an illusion. It is no cliff, because they don't see it from being inside the car. They don't. So they don't see the need to stop the car, right? So, and for honestly, like for my entire life, what I've been doing, put it like in a very like simple terms, I was trying to fit that map to those passengers that I really care about. I really do care. I want them to, I mean, I don't enjoy like watching them crying, like, when they start seeing that cliff close to them. Like, like when I faced like my mom going through the disease, that was exactly the point. Like, she was not listening to me, and once she faced that, it's already like I'm still trying to give the map, saying like, okay, this is how you stop the car, right? So, and it hurts for me to see how people were just not accepting that. But honestly, I'm very optimistic. Like at this moment, I'm extremely optimistic, because what is happening right now here with you, it is already like, at least like on this screen, I see very clear like a passenger who is like not only taking the map, but is also sharing that map with other people, and you already doing that, and I'm beyond grateful. I'm so grateful. So, and I can tell you that there started appearing people like you. It's not a lot of them yet, but I'm happy for every single one, because I know that I know, again, it's no magic, it's no stars aligned, but I know that it is very simple. It's called phase transition from physics. It's like when you put a water and on fire, you try boiling it. like at some point you're thinking, oh my God, I forgot to turn on the fire. It's nothing happening with the surface. Like you don't see any changes, right? So, but then like you slowly, like you can just feel the changes, like if you touch with your finger, but slowly at some point, like you start noticing like very small changes, right? So there are like those like single people appearing that are carrying this around. They're taking the map to themselves and start carrying it around the map. So, and then again, it is like it's from physics, very easy phase transition. At one point, entire system will start boiling, like entire. It will like happen as a snowballing effect. It will happen for sure. And now I would say that I'm optimistic about that because I started to see the small things that makes it visible.
A watched pot never boils, right?
Absolutely. So I'm trying not to watch. This is so true. This is, oh my God, you're so right, because this is exactly like when I myself was trying to control like how people perceive that. I mean, people around me, right? Like my relatives, my friends, like what I'm sharing with them. And I was like being upset they don't hear me. I mean, being upset with them, this is control. This is control, because I'm controlling what their reaction is supposed to be for what I'm saying. I was so stressed. This was that watch spot that you're talking about. But once I stopped doing that, I just gave up and I said, you know what? Whatever. I'll just publish what I need to publish, because it's just going through me. And if I try to stop it, if I not put it on a paper, or or if I'm not drawing it, it's kind of like it's tearing me up from inside. I don't feel good physically. So, and I just said, you know what? I don't care what they will do with it. I don't care. So I will just do what I'm supposed to do, because I will feel nicer. I will just go to my everyday yoga, then come back home and have fun with my findings. This is when people started to appear.
It echoes so much of the people that have come into my life. You know, it's so strange to be in the midst of a change that is happening, but you can't explain it. And I echo so much of that sentiment. Like when you try to control it, like you just get in your own way. Like, wait, I want to do this, or I'm going to try this thing over here. And you're like, it's not working. But the whole time, like you're becoming, like, of course it's working. You just don't see it in the way you want it to see it. But and the idea of coherence, like you brought up, all of a sudden you started noticing these people in your life. Like that recognition of coherence is, I don't know if there's words to really explain it, but you do see people starting to show up in your life. You see your changes in your life. And beyond that, for me, the idea of remembering, like you go back and you don't replay the scenes in your life, but you remember them in a fashion that makes much more sense as to why you are where you are now. And you can change the history. Like that's, I'm so excited for the future and the ability for each one of us to become like the very best versions of ourselves. I have to jump over to some of these comments. There's so many cool people. Elena, Ghosta. Everyone should check out Ghosta. He's got some really cool pages he's working on, and I think it would resonate with lots of people. Same with Charla. She's doing some amazing work over there. My friend Robert Sean Davis has a comment I'll bring up here. Robert, thank you so much for being here. Robert says, the best example of this is the world telling its citizens that COVID is going to destroy everything in its path. Yet corporate interests prioritize their own self-interests and greed, with little to no cross-sharing of patents, proprietary data, and critical information needed to come together, even with the catalyst. Massively missed opportunity to go beyond and hoarding. I think that speaks to that idea of cancer, like people just trying to be their own cell and take over the signaling of the body and not letting the other cells be the natural sort of antiseptic to it. What do you think when on that comment?
Oh, entire pandemic. I mean, it's just such a made up thing. So, okay. So the thing is that like every disease in our body, again, like what we see in our body, we can translate to a consciousness level. So with that, coronavirus itself, it was the main trouble it was causing, the trouble with the lungs, with the trouble with breathing.
Mm-hmm.
So what is breathing? Breathing is the fear of survival. And guess what? Guess how we got pandemic? Everybody starts like suddenly, like on TV, everybody starts talking, oh my God, pandemic is coming. We will all die. This is it. You don't need virus.
Yeah.
You don't need nothing. Like absolutely nothing. You just experience that fear with your entire body, and you have coronavirus. Because so my latest field proof that I published, the field proof 12, which I released it a week later because like at the very end I decided to change the name, and because of that I had to go through entire paper. So the first name of that, so the current name is Field Primacy.
Okay.
The previous name was Matter is Secondary. So like if you look at that, it's the name that is, it's absolutely the same fact, right? It's field primacy and matter is secondary. It's the same fact. But like in first place, we look on that fact from negative point of view, like matter is secondary. So like their second one, like field primacy, we look from positive point of view. So that paper itself, it is cross-linked through all sciences. So it's like, again, it's not theory, it's cross-linked. So that paper itself, it is proving that matter, like any matter, any physical object that you can measure, like anything, it is secondary. Like the consciousness comes first. And then depending on what your perception is, what is that bridge between you as the observer and the field as the reality? Like depending on which bridge you choose, you produce matter, the physical condition, which means that coronavirus itself, I mean, virus is matter. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, it does exist. It does, but it is secondary. The first thing was the fear for everyone, for entire planet. We all die. Oh, we have pandemic. Oh my God. But you know what? I mean, on other hand, I would say like if we look on that from a larger scale, on the pandemic itself, the pandemic itself was a brilliant move of the universe to have a rehearsal before AI will take our jobs and careers. Because when pandemic happened, like what happened, like on a global scale, what happened with the society? So like all governments, they faced a huge trouble with their, like what they doing with economics. So, oh, we start printing money.
Right.
Yeah, so like everybody survives, right? So like we have a lockdown. So you know, and people started hoarding things just to survive. But the thing is that, I mean, look around, like AI itself, again, AI like on a wider scale, like AI like as a small thing, like of course it appeared earlier, but AI on a larger scale, like it appeared only like last, I would say, like couple years, right? And so, I mean, you want it or not, there are a bunch of things that you already can do like with AI. And I mean, it's again, it's not. I was already talking about that like a couple years ago, but again, nobody believed me a couple years ago. The story of my life. But look around, like what we have now, right? It's like let's say like all those like small like coffee shops where like students were like making their first money.
Yep.
Like now they don't need those students, right? So like bunch of careers that like they will just disappear like entirely. And entirely, it doesn't mean 3 months lockdown during pandemic. It means entirely. And for some people, I mean, let's say, like mm, let's say you have like extremely narrow vision of the field and you never learned in your life like nothing other than just like one profession that you learned how to do, right? And
Yeah.
then like at one moment you are not needed anymore, done, and you have mortgage, you have kids, and you already feel that you kind of like you don't want to start a new education or a new life path when you are 50. You're thinking, what the heck, I was going to retire in a couple of years.
Right.
Yes, I was going, just like start traveling and do nothing, like, and all of a sudden you understand that like you have no idea like what to do, and it will not be happening for 3 months. It is like gone. And again, it will be the same like snowballing effect. And again, I absolutely, I don't want to sound anyhow, like terrifying. I want to sound that we do have a map. We do have a map how to survive that. I mean, it is great that we now have AI. I mean, it is beautiful. It is
Yeah.
perfect. And I mean, let's just celebrate that, and let's finally like find our perfect place in that, in this life, like for every single person, like for every single cell.
Alignment. The word alignment comes to mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is when you put it in those terms, and I think far too often the message we're receiving is this one of fear, because you're right, like those jobs are going to disappear, but it doesn't mean just because you're the current identity that you're in disappears doesn't mean you disappear. And I can say that with full confidence to everybody listening, because I know what that's like when your identity seems to glitch out and then be gone. But it doesn't mean you're gone. That means that you now need to find an alignment with what you're supposed to do, with what's a higher calling. Like, and if we can look at it in those terms, and scary as it is, it's also really beautiful, because now you have this opportunity to become that which you were meant to be. And I think if people can step into that role, and like you said, it won't be easy. It's not something that happens in 3 months or 6 months, maybe 3 years, maybe 36 months, before you start to really feel that alignment. But like you said earlier, people show up, things show up in your life when you start paying attention to the harmony and the coherence of who you are and what's around you and the people in your life. Like, it's a really beautiful message. If people, once you get past the fear, I think you realize the beauty of it.
Absolutely. So I would say it's like, you can look on it that way, that the pandemic itself, it was a rehearsal for
Yeah.
us to start looking inside instead of outside. Because once you learn to hear yourself, to hear your own body, like to hear your needs, like you will notice everything. And honestly, I would say that, like, from my perspective, like from my point of view, from what I've learned, like, experiencing that, like with the clients that I have, like for the coaching sessions, I can tell you that it's not a matter of time that we can define, like 3 minutes, 3 months, or 3 years. It's a matter of how much you refuse to jump in there. I mean, if you will, like, agree in 3 seconds, you don't need 3 years. You don't. It's not a matter of time. It's a matter of your perception. Because, like what you're saying, uh, like people used to think that something like, uh, oh, like I lose my job, I lose my partner, like I lose my career. But the thing is that you don't lose yourself, you just lose a role.
Yes.
And that role itself was a bridge to the field. There are infinite other bridges. Infinite. You can walk any of those. And the thing is that, I mean, like, seriously, I mean, seriously, like, just imagine that, like, you have a lifetime, let's say, in good case scenario, it is 100 years. Let's say that. Okay. So, like, seriously, no, I can't get it. For me, it's like, it sounds as a disaster. Like, seriously, do you want to walk the same path for 100 years? Seriously, don't you want to try something else? Just give it a try. This is so much fun. Like, will it be like some bridges that are not yours? Oh, absolutely. Will it be some bridges that are even bigger illusion than your current one? Absolutely. But there, I mean, first thing, you will have so much fun. Like, just giving it their, like giving it a chance to see, like, another angle. It's fun. It's like, it, it's like, I mean, look in psychology, they all talk that, like, the highest dosage of dopamine that we receive is when we experience something new, because this is how brain works. I mean, having that new way to look at the reality, this is your brain experiencing something new. Maybe you won't like that. Okay, perfect. But you still experience something new. You have something new to talk about. You have something new to compare with. You have one new angle. It's like, it's like, if you imagine that the puzzle game, like everything we study, it's like it's pieces. But don't, I mean, if you will have one piece, you have no idea what is entire picture, and you feel lost because you cannot navigate it. So you are lost. You don't know what is happening after death. I mean, I would say that's the biggest fear of people, like what is happening after death. The Lila code will answer that. So, uh, but the thing is that, like, every time you start look at the reality the different way and experience something new, you get a new piece of puzzle. And at some point, you will have enough pieces to dive into that picture. You will see that reality itself is not a flat surface, but it is actually, it's huge. You can dive in. It is so much fun.
I want to do like a thought experiment with you, Lila.
Okay.
Okay, yes. It's gonna be fun. I spend a lot of time thinking about my daughter's education, and a lot of where the future might be. We play these games of like trying to imagine what it would be like in the future. And she goes to this really cool school up here in Petaluma called the Spring Hill School. People should, if you're in the area, you check out the Spring Hill School. It's really awesome. However, sometimes I'll sit down with the principal or the teachers and we talk about the future of education. So if you and I, let's pretend like we are creating a curriculum. What are some things that we could introduce in a curriculum that would help the next generation be prepared for the world that we're moving into?
I would say that like the must-have for education is ability to recognize patterns. And that's it. I mean, honestly, I would say that that's not their main thing, but that's the only thing.
Yes. Yes.
Because once you can recognize patterns, I mean, you can become anyone. You can get any profession like in a very short amount of time, because you just see how patterns work. And it's like how they say, like if you are a good salesperson, it doesn't matter if you're selling snow or you're selling real estate or you're selling knowledge or you're selling air. It doesn't matter. You're a good salesperson. So that's the point. If you have ability to recognize patterns, that means that you have ability to recognize how mechanics of the thing is happening. And it doesn't matter if that is mechanics of the car, of airplane, of consciousness, of podcast. It doesn't matter. You know how mechanics works, which means that you can actually do whatever you want just using that mechanics, which means that if you wish to, you don't have to keep to one thing for entire life. If you wish, of course you can, but that's not a must. And if you sick and tired of doing like this exact thing, and you out of the blue you feel like start writing, start like go to kindergarten and work with kids, I mean, absolutely, you can do that. And the point is that like with that, we will also avoid this terrible part of like nowadays education, is that labels with degree. It's like, I mean, let's say like you have degree in medicine is a bad example. But actually it's not bad example. Yeah, it's good example. Let's say you have degree in like a medical degree. I mean, look at that. Like to get like the real good medical degree, like let's say surgeon, right?
Yeah.
Like what it is, it's like 13 years. Yeah, it's like you need practice. It's like, it's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say you were really like called to do that, right? And then you are 50 years old and AI invented a surgery which is much better that's like produced with a human. You are done. You're not just done with your paycheck, but you are done with your self-confidence. Because you were thinking that, I mean, you felt yourself God. You're performing a surgery on a human body, and you're giving somebody a second chance of life. This is beautiful. This is amazing feeling. You are done with it. And you spent all those years, I mean, like, what you're supposed to do. So, like, if we look on that from perspective of a current society, that person is done. Like, seriously. Like, that person was absolutely not planning to get a new degree at 50. That was not the plan. Like, and that, I mean, it's the older you get, the harder it is to learn some new things. So you were not planning that, and you are done. So, like with the current society perspective, you will not be able to start a new, like really, I'm talking about like beautiful career that you would love, right? I mean, not being like something like a, but something that like you want to still feel that self confidence, right? That you're doing something beautiful and big, right? Like like in current society, you will not be able to do so because you don't want to go back and like get a degree and like spend another 13 years, like for what? And then like again, like build a circle of people around you that trust you, like build a career. But that becomes absolutely different if we switch education to pattern recognition, because in this case, like something that you've been doing there with like with medicine, with biology, with understanding of coherence of the human body, you can switch it like anywhere. You can you can go and be a teacher in kindergarten, like and play with kids, because coherence of the group works the same way as coherence of the entire body. You already you you learned how to recognize that, how to recognize the pattern instead of uh, learn their biology thing, the chemistry thing.
I could see that becoming one of the most fulfilling jobs of all times. That someone, I can say that because I went and I worked back at the Boys and Girls Club. And for me, as much as I got to be the cool teacher teaching these kids, like I felt like they taught me how to live again. Like I really got to experience like everything from like the tantrums to the coming together to figuring out something new for the first time as an individual, as a group, to relationships, and just being around the kids. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. So I could shout out to all the teachers out there every day getting to go and do this thing and be around people teaching you how to live again. So I love that aspect of it, and that idea of pattern recognition, and the fact that maybe that's all there really is pattern recognition. Maybe this idea of going to school for 30 years is sort of an antiquated idea. Maybe we're moving past that. If we look at AI being able to have, incredible life-changing discoveries in a matter of years, or the acceleration of ideas that seems to be happening. Maybe the idea of going to school for 30 years becomes an antiquated idea for one profession.
Oh, absolutely. That's totally, that doesn't make sense. And I can tell you that it's like uh, a lot of things actually in the current society. It is uh, the meaning going like exactly upside down. So what we think with education, right? So we think that a younger person uh, come to school to learn things, right? But the truth is that we will learn much more if we will learn from kids. Because our perception, again, I'm talking about our generation specifically,
Right.
because this is how we were raised. Like
Right.
our perception is phase locked to very like specific, narrow point of view. And the kid doesn't have that organically. So the kid will never tell you this is the apple before you show the kid like the picture of apple, the word apple. You show it in a book and you say, okay, this is apple. This is a round apple. You cannot see it any other way, right? But and the kid learned that. So the brain trained to say, okay, this is apple, it can only be rounded, it can only be this color, it can only be this shape and this taste. So, but we have much more to learn from the kids, because kids have, they are less stick to one face lock.
Yeah, it's so much to be excited about and to think about, and it blows my mind. Ghosta comes in and says, yes, actually it is. Still, most are like the flies who hover around the apple, finding no place to land. Yeah, it's interesting to think about the future that we're moving into. I got another couple questions. I know. Let me jump into a question right up here. This one comes to us from Ronga. And Ronga says, Lila, you mentioned fear is what remains when the field is misread. Can you explain that?
I shall remember the context. So, okay, if I understand it in the right way, so fear itself, like, what is fear? So fear means that you don't know the outcome, and
right.
You have no idea how to navigate that outcome, like how to control it.
Right.
So it is something like out of your control, and you actually have no idea who is controlling it. And the thing is that, like, any meanings that you nowadays can get out there, in science, I'm sorry, but there are no answers in current science. Current science has no idea how cancer appears. Current science has no, like the global science, which is like institutional accepted, right? It has like no idea what is happening after death. It has no idea if we incarnate or we disappear forever. Like, it is like, it's bunch of paradoxes that, they have no idea what are black holes. They have no idea about Big Bang, if it really was there. And it was there, but it was not anything that they imagined it was. So they just have theories that are not falsifiable.
Right.
Yes, like, absolutely. So science doesn't have answers. Religion, it doesn't have answers. It has, again, it has like theories. It has something that you can put on faith, right? But it doesn't have the clear answers that, let's say, like, we are with you speaking, and we share the same answer, and we are absolutely sure that it is what it is because we've been there, and we can even go there together and come back from there and tell everyone, right? So it's like, it's no answer. So this is how fear appears, right? Because we have no idea what the heck is going on. So what is the opposite of fear in this case? The opposite of fear is clarity. It is like, it is exactly like their writing that they have about enlightenment. So enlightenment itself means that it is no dark corners left. Like, everything is visible. And so it doesn't mean that you see everything at the same time. No, it means that you have a tool to see if you want to. You have a map. You have a compass. So you can navigate it. And with that compass, you can navigate any question that you want to, whatever it is. Is it like a life after death? Is it, like what actually happening, like when we remember past lives? Like, other soulmates exist, and what it is? Why it is actually happening? like this entire disaster, like as a gender war, like
Mm.
all this feminism. I mean, like, and there are like opposite camps. But the thing is that uh, again, it all comes back to duality. So like what I'm doing with the Lila code, I'm just bringing in the compass that's supposed to end that duality. Because once you have compass, the fear, again, you don't fight the fear. It's like, imagine that, like, imagine that you enter the dark room. You can do whatever with your brain to start fighting that darkness, to stop the darkness, to stop feeling that darkness, to stop imagining that it is something in that darkness that might hurt you. Instead, you can just turn on the lights. You don't fight darkness because it's nothing bad in darkness. Just turn on the light and see what is there.
Just turn on the light. It's beautiful. And I know the darkness can be scary. The idea of uncertainty, the idea of loss of identity, like, but the light's right there. You just got to find the switch. Just find the switch, turn it on.
Right.
And the switch is the Lila code right there. Everybody can look at the right there.
The switch is in your perception.
Yes.
So the Lila code itself is not a switch. Lila code is the trigger for your own switch. The switch will happen itself. And you will navigate that room and that fear and the darkness itself. And the thing is that you will not need to navigate it, because once you turn on the lights, it's nothing to navigate. You just put the bicycle together or a spaceship and you fly to the moon and have fun.
Amazing. Lila, this conversation, the first of many conversations that we'll have, but absolutely amazing. I'm so grateful to get to hang out with you and spend some time with you. And I would recommend everybody within the sound of my voice. I've made it really easy for you. I put on the thumbnail right there, thelilacode.com. There's a QR code. Scan it. Check it out. Do yourself a favor and reach out to Lila yourself. She's amazing. She has so much incredible information that she's worked her life to put out there. And it's available for you guys. It's available for everybody. But let me kick it back to you, Lila, as we're coming. We've like blown through 2 hours already, and I felt like it was 5 minutes for me. But let me just kick it back to you. Where can people find you? What do you have coming up, and what are you excited about?
So I actually, because of the podcast, I finally put together my website where I collected like everything. Oh my God, I'm so grateful for that. And like honestly, when like yesterday, like almost at midnight, I was looking at it. I mean, I myself was shocked how much it is like altogether, because I actually it's scientific papers set there. It's the visual set there, because like how my perception works that way, that like at the first place I receive everything as the picture, as their it's not even a picture, it's the picture with the feeling, and then I'm translating it to like linear language. So, and because of that, like for me, of course, like a lot of things, it is easier to describe with visuals. So with paintings, so I mean that actually my only like the real degree is in arts. So I mean degree with like institutional degree. So
Right.
and so I put everything together and I have it all on my website. It's scientific papers. And I have all the different levels. So I have scientific papers, like if you're a scientist and you want to cross-check it, and you want to see the knowledge, right? So there are also more like essays, which is Substack, which is more human language. It is much less scientific terms, and it is much more metaphors that I'm using, so they hint to your genetic memory to make you remember. So there are also visuals. I'm also doing animations. Of course, like I'm doing like a lot with the help of AI, but again, for me, AI is just a tool. Because I mean, again, if you currently like look at my website, I mean, I don't know how I put it all together. I have no idea, but I mean, AI is a tool. It's like it's my assistant that is like helping me to like put the entire picture together. It's the same way as you would use like a brush or camera or a pen. It doesn't matter. It's just a tool. So it's everything there, and so you can find like everything what fits more uh, uh, for your cognitive style, because like for some people it's visuals, for some people it's like connecting the dots, like that's more for scientific papers. But anyway, I would welcome so much like any people who want to be stewards. It doesn't matter if you just a seeker yourself, or if you carry like any institutional role. It doesn't matter, because like every part here is extremely important, because you can just take the map and you can start carrying it, and the more of us it will be there, the faster we will see the change. That will happen itself automatically, with the wars, with the cure for cancer, with change for education, and with us expanding our lifespan. Because I mean, the current 80 years, I mean, like the aging itself, it is just going against the field. But once we start moving with the field, like, and being aligned with that coherence, like aging, it slows down to like almost like I think like close to zero, which means that 80 years of the current lifetime, it is nothing. It is absolutely nothing. So, and if you are one of those who wants to see that change during your own lifetime, then please come and join. And remember the field. So I need stewards. We need stewards.
Absolutely beautiful finish. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're within the sound of my voice, check out the lilacode.com. Reach out to Lila yourself. And Lila, hang on a little bit afterwards. To everybody else within the sound of my voice, thank you so much for being here. And thank you to everyone who participated in the chats today. We'll get back to all of you. I hope you're having a beautiful day, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we got. Aloha.